Welcome guys, and this is my new beast, the secret beast I was talking about that we're going to be working on this channel. 2002 Ford Crown Victoria P71 Police Interceptor. Now, I just bought this thing a couple weeks ago, and I do have some work to do on it. Now, it does run and drive pretty well considering its age and mileage. I don't have the owner's manual, unfortunately, so I can't see if we need a fuse here or what goes there. So I'm kind of looking some of the stuff over. So we do have some things that we need to fix. This battery is roached, I believe. It still starts the car, but I did hook my my little top-down ARTA battery up to it. It does say replace. State of charge is at 98%. State of health was like 3%. I'm guessing these two things are where some police equipment used to be, ground-wise. But I'm not sure what. I mean, this looks kind of bad, so we might have to address that maybe at a later date, maybe not right this second, I don't know. Guess we'll just walk around and see what we need right away. Some headlights we can actually see out of. These are the 16-inch wheels. Those aren't the correct caps, they're off a Ford Ranger, but they look okay, I guess. Could be better, could be worse. The 16-inch spare I have is different. I believe it has less of these things, but they're kind of longer. So we might need new 16s or just upgrade to the 17s. I don't know. We'll burn that bridge when we get there. These tires look like kind of crap, especially this flat one back here. So I don't know. We might just go to a scrapyard and get 4 17s. We're missing our little molding down here. We got a couple of broken clips, it looks like. Actually, it looks like the whole thing just snapped off, I guess. Okay. A couple things I've already did. We were missing a trunk light. I put that in. We didn't have a jack or a 4-way. I picked that from a scrapyard, put that in there. Let's come with washer fluid, though. That's kind of nice. Actually, I can use that on my BMW now. It was a little low. We need some center caps for this side, so we need to get the 4 matching ones or find 2 more off a Ranger. We do have a molding down here. Back seat's maybe a little dirty. And this seat's kind of, I don't know what's going on with that there. Some foam coming out of it. Smells kind of funny in here. It smells old. But that can be remedied. All 4 windows do roll down. At least they do from the front. I haven't actually checked. Okay. The switches back here do work. There's a piece of trim here. I'm not sure what goes there. We have our panel down there. This handle's kind of sticky, but it does work. Now, I only have one key for this, the ignition key, and I'm guessing the ignition was changed by this evidence because it doesn't work for, that key does not work for the doors. I was missing a stereo, but I went to the scrapyard, pick and pull, and I got this out of a Ranger or something, I think. Some Ford that has a CD. There was one in this, this Ford van that actually had the disc and cassette, but that one was hard to get out. I couldn't get it out. I used my little handmade tool to extract it from the vehicle, and then it just plugged in and put it right in there. But I could not use it to get the one out of that Windstar, I think is what it was. We have a ticket light, but it does not work. I'm not sure if a fuse is blown or what the deal is with that. I tried 2 different bulbs, they don't work. Sun visors with no mirrors. Already been to the scrapyard, so I got sun visors with matching color and mirrors, so we'll put those in later. Trunk release works. Airbags haven't been deployed. Got the vinyl floor. I don't know if that works or not. If it doesn't, then we may know that we have a fuse, which is why that doesn't work. The door, for some reason, I don't know if it's just because I'm tilted at a weird angle, doesn't want to stay open on this driver's side, so I'm thinking something's damaged in here, but I don't know what. So maybe somebody else knows and could tell me what part I need to replace here for that, because I have no clue, and that's going to be of a mild annoyance. My little hood thing's kind of broken, but it does work. The e-brake doesn't work. I see the cable here, so I have to get under it and see what cable doesn't, which cable's missing. Notice my temperature sensor doesn't work. All the other gauges seem to work. Oh, the spotlight does work. It didn't come with a handle, but I got that from a scrapyard, and now our spotlight does work. I guess you need to tighten the handle down a little bit right there. It's a little 10mm. And then it'll be nice and good to go on that one. The hood struts don't work, but I picked some of those from the scrapyard also, so that's going to be like the first thing we fix. See, their engine runs quiet and everything. No smoking or nothing. Guessing we have some leaky valve covers though. And I am going to have to replace the spark plugs. He said that he replaced the 2 rear coil packs and the 2 rear spark plugs. And by 2 rear, I'm assuming he means the rear on each bank. But he didn't replace them all, so I guess I'll go ahead and do that. I do have a push bumper on the front. It's a little cockeyed though. I should have jacked this left side up a little, I think. It's a little bent. So, I don't know, maybe I can jack that up. So, we got what we're going to do for the day, I think. Now the engine's warmed up a little, I'm going to go ahead and shut her down. We're going to clean the MAF. Actually, no, before we do any of that, we'll run some tests with my diagnostic machine, and we'll see what we got going on here. We do have a check engine light. Okay, so since the last time I cleared the codes, which was, I guess, the day I bought it, a couple of weeks ago, I haven't really driven it since. We do have 1 code on already. That's going to be our transmission range selector. We have 2 not ready, so let's see what's not ready. Transmission range sensor. I bought a spare one of those, so we'll get underneath the car and installing that at our convenience here. That's the only code. Okay, P0705. Now, let's see what's not ready. There were originally 2 codes, since they were cleared. Misfire, okay. Fuel system monitor, okay. So we have an incomplete catalyst. And our last sensor was a P0420 or something. It was a catalytic converter code. Inefficiency below threshold or something, I believe it said. EVAP is also incomplete. We don't have enough fuel for that to really run its test, so we will have to take this thing to the gas station and do some drive cycles, unfortunately. O2 sensors are good. O2 sensor heaters are good. EGR is good. Okay. So let's see what the cats are doing. So we'll do bank 1. Actually, you know what? This isn't gonna. I need to go to graphing. Now that I think about it, I remember this from doing that other thing. So we got to go to data stream. Yeah, go data stream. Engine coolant temperature is 150. Yet this thing hasn't budged. I wonder if revving it up would. No, nothing. Takes a little minute to idle down, too. Short-term fuel trim looks okay. It's within spec. It's only going between negative and positive by a few percentage points, so that's fine. Long term is about the same. Okay. See, it takes a while to idle down. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe that's just a Ford thing. I don't know. Never owned one before. Air intake temperature 55. Okay. Probably sounds about right. Absolute throttle position says 18%. Oxygen sensor, bank 1, sensor 1. Looks like we go between 0.0 change and 0.1, so I'd say that's within spec. So it looks like O2 sensor number 2 on bank 1 is doing the same thing. That, I mean, it's technically within spec, but it shouldn't be moving that much. So our catalytic converter is reading inefficient. So if we look at bank 1, well, those are, see, the problem is you can't get the oxygen sensors on the same damn page unless I manually select those, like when I want to go view graph, so I'll do that. Alright, we'll go to graph. First thing I'm looking at is the airflow meter, but as we can look, that seems to be working just fine. At idle, it's sitting at 0.7, and then it, you know, goes up when I do hit the gas. So I didn't buy a new mass airflow sensor. It looks like I don't need one. I did bring the cleaner to clean it, so I might still do that anyway, but I might not because it seems to be okay. It's responding as I hit the pedal. So, all right, let's check the oxygen sensors next. Actually, before I do that, we'll check the engine temperature, and we're at 197 degrees Fahrenheit. And look, the gauge finally moved up. Okay, this door closing thing is going to get real freaking annoying. Oh, I'm going to have to figure out what the hell's up with that. What causes that? Never had a car do that, where the door just doesn't stay open. I'm guessing it's something to do with something down here. So that would be mildly annoying, but at least now it sits right in the halfway point when we get up to around 200 degrees or so. Now we are at 200 degrees. Let's check and see if our fans and stuff are working. Electric cooling fan is not on yet. So 200 degrees isn't really that hot. Well, the BMW runs hotter than that normally, though. The thermostat should have just started open on this thing. This thing probably has a 195 thermostat, taking a guess. But we got ways before we overheat. So we can go to the O2 sensor and see what that's doing. So we do want to do bank 1 sensor 1, bank 1 sensor 2. Alright, now if you remember what the Lincoln was doing, one was bouncing up and down and the other was more stable. This one, Bank 1 Sensor 1, is doing what it should be doing, bouncing up and down. Sensor 2, though, which is the black one, that is... It's not exactly mirroring it, but it's out of range, I guess. It looks like it's... I mean, it's way above where it should. You know, if you remember the Lincoln, it was kind of in the middle. We go in the middle, go up a little, down, in the middle, up and down. And this one's like way above Sensor 1. Sensor 1 is still bouncing up and down like it should, but Sensor 2 is not being steady. It's kind of all over the place like Sensor 1. I think I hear the cooling fan now. Yep, it's on. And of course the door closed on me. Alright, so cooling fans do work. And yeah, so Sensor 2 isn't bad, but it's way above voltage than what... And I'm trying to think, what does that mean? I can't remember now. Does 2... If voltage is higher, does that mean it's leaner or richer? In other words, does that mean there's more gas coming out, or... I'll have to check on that right quick, because I might have it backwards. Okay, so higher voltage output means is richer. So that means O2 sensor number 2 is detecting more fuel, or less oxygen, I guess. So here's what we can do with that, I think. Because I'm not going to replace the catalytic converters on this. You can eat my ass. Okay, so here's what we do have. We have these little guys. These oxygen sensor extenders. So the oxygen sensor won't sit all the way in the pipe, and this has like a little mini catalytic converter built onto it. So it should trick those rear O2 sensors. The other thing we got here is our transmission range sensor. Hopefully that's the right one. I ordered it off Amazon. I haven't been under the car to actually check. So we're going to get underneath this thing, and then we'll do all the oxygen sensor stuff first since the engine's hot, and then when that cools down we can do the spark plugs. But I think before we do all that, I'm going to treat the, I'm going to spray some carb cleaner inside the engine, inside the throttle, I think, and clean her out a little before I do any of that. And that way, you know, if there's just carbon buildup or something in there, or in the cats, maybe we can just clean that out. We'll do that first.